So this is the revision class on the unit number 1, basic concept and laws of thermodynamics. So this is the part 2 video. In the part 1 video we'll discuss the basic concepts of the thermodynamics, and in this video we'll discuss the laws of thermodynamics, that is the zeroth law, first law of thermodynamics, second law of thermodynamics, and the definition of heat and work, similarities between heat and work, and the derivation of characteristic gas equation PV is equal to MRT, and the relation between Cp, Cv and universal gas constant R. So the remaining problems we will discuss in the next, that is a part 3 video. So let us start the discussion of that the laws of thermodynamics. Second part of first unit, that is the basic concepts and laws of thermodynamics. So in the first video we studied about the basic concepts of the thermodynamics. So now we'll study the laws of thermodynamics. So here one question will be asked in the examination, that is explain the laws of thermodynamics. So three laws of thermodynamics are there. So one is the zeroth law of thermodynamics, second one is the first law of thermodynamics, and second law of thermodynamics. So first, if you see that what is the zeroth law of thermodynamics. So zeroth law of thermodynamics, it states that when two systems are each in thermal equilibrium with a third system, then the two systems are also in thermal equilibrium with one another. That means if two systems means we take a system A and system B are in thermal equilibrium with a system C, then the two systems A and B are also in thermal equilibrium with one another. So this is what the zeroth law of thermodynamics, and it gives the measurement for the temperature, basis for the temperature measurement. So in the examination for your only the statement is asked, so then you have to write when two systems are in thermal equilibrium with a third system, then the two systems are also in thermal equilibrium with one another. So next we'll study, that is the first law of thermodynamics. So it deals with the laws of conservation of energy, and it can be stated in two ways. That is the first way, the heat and the mechanical work are mutually convertible. That is when the closed system undergoes a thermodynamic cycle, that is the net heat transfer is equal to the net work transfer. So according to this statement, what we can tell, that we can convert the entire work into heat and heat into mechanical work. That is the cyclic integral of dq is equal to cyclic integral of dw. And the second way of statement is the energy can either be created or can be destroyed, but it can be transformed from one form to another form. That is when the system undergoes a change of state, then both and heat work transfer takes place. So this is the statement, this is a basic statement, that is the law of conservation of energy. We know that we can't create energy and we can't destroy energy, but we can transfer energy from one form to another, so that heat and work transfer will be taking place when the system is undergoing a changes. That is Q minus W is equal to dE. So we can observe in the system sketch, the system heat is entering and work output is going out. So next, the second law of thermodynamics, it can be stated by two statements. One is a Kelvin-Planck statement. According to Kelvin-Planck statement, it is impossible to build or construct an engine working on a cyclic process whose sole purpose is to convert that heat energy supplied to it into an equivalent amount of work. So this statement is sometimes called it is referred as law of degradation of energy. So it means here, in what the Kelvin-Planck statement is, that we can't construct a machine or engine which is working on a cycling process whose intention or sole purpose is to convert that whatever we are supplying, that heat energy, into all the work, all the equivalent of work. That means we can't convert 100% of input into the 100% of work. So if 100% of input is given, then there will be 80% of loss and 80% of work output will be there and 20% of loss will be there. So this statement is called law of degradation of energy. So that means whenever we are supplying a heat to engine, then there will be some losses, energy losses in the output, in the work output. So that is a Kelvin Planck statement. You can observe in the sketch that is a high temperature reservoir at temperature T1, that is called as a source, and low temperature reservoir at T2 sink. So Q1 is entering into the heat engine and Q2 is a heat coming out of the heat engine. So there will be loss, that is a work output loss will be there, that is a Q1 minus Q2. Next, the thermal efficiency of engine, that is a max, that is the maximum work obtained divided by total heat supplied, that is Q1 minus Q2 is divided by Q1. So Q1 if you take common, then 1 minus Q2 divided by Q1, that is 1 minus T2 divided by T1. So this is a Kelvin Planck statement. In simple way, what we can say that it is impossible for a engine to convert all the heat supplied into an equivalent amount of work. There will be some losses is there. So this is what in simple we can say that Kelvin Planck statement. So next, Clausius statement. So Clausius statement, according to this statement, it is impossible for a self-acting machine working on a cyclic process to transfer heat from cold body to hot body without the help of an external agency. In other words, what we can say that it is the heat cannot flow itself from cold body to hot body without the help of external agency. That means to transfer heat from cold body to hot body, there should be an external agency. This is called as a Clausius statement. So figure shows here the heat transfer from a cold body to hot body without any work input. This device violates the Clausius statement and it is called as a perpetual motion, PMM second. So we can observe the figure, refrigerator working and heat pump working. So here what we can observe, Q2, that is a heat coming from cold body which is at lower temperature, cannot flow to atmosphere, that is at T1, that which is at higher temperature. To transform heat from cold body to atmospheric at temperature T1, there should be a external agency, that is called as a refrigerator. So next, that heat body, heat pump. So here also the heat cannot flow from Q2 to Q1, there should be external agency, that is a heat pump. So this is what the Clausius statement it is called as. Next, what explain the steady flow energy process and write the steady flow energy equation with notations. So it is April 2017 5 marks question. The steady flow energy process means the flow process which occurs in an open system and it permits the transfer of mass to and from the system. So here mass is transferring into the system and from the system. So such process is called as a flow processes, and in flow processes that mass enters the system and leaves after doing the work. So the flow processes are two types, one is a steady flow process and non-steady flow process. So for your syllabus point of view, we have to study only steady flow processes. So what is a steady flow processes means? It means the rate of flow at inlet and outlet is same, the rate of heat transfer is constant. So first, what we can say that the rate of flow at inlet and outlet, so amount of flow coming and outgoing both are same. The rate of heat transfer across that whatever the system we have taken, it is a constant, it is not varying. The rate of work transfer is also constant. The state of working substance at any point within the system is same at all times. So and there is no chemical energy involved. So if you considered these points, then we can say that for any processes, if all these points are occurring, then such a process is called steady flow processes. So what is a steady flow process? In short, we can say that inlet and outlet, that flow is same, heat transfer across, rate of heat transfer, rate of work transfer is same, and the state of working substance at any point within the system is same at all times. There is no chemical energy involved. The steady flow energy equation is given by U1 plus rho P1 V suffix S1 So small n, capital V1 square divided by 2 G Z1 plus Q1 to 2 is equal to U2 plus P2 Vs22 plus V2 square divided by 2 and G Z2 plus W1 to 2, where P1 is the pressure of working substance at entry in Newton per meter square. Vs1 is specific volume of working substance entering system in meter cube per kg. V1 is the velocity at entry in meter per second. U1 is the specific internal energy at working substance. So Z1 is the height above the datum level for inlet in meter. So P2, V2, U2 and Z2 are corresponding values for the working substance leaving the system. So next, one more important question, that is April-May 2018. So prove the specific heat at constant pressure. The difference between the specific heat at constant pressure and specific heat at constant volume is equal to universal gas constant. So that is a Cp minus Cv is equal to R with usual notations. So that is a relation between R, Cp and Cv. So it is a very repeated questions. Here for this derivations or proving this relation, we consider a gas heated in a closed container at a constant pressure from state 1 to state 2. Then heat supplied at constant pressure is given by Q1 to 2 mCp T2 minus Tv. So here we have to consider a gas in a closed container with constant pressure from P1 to P2, and heat supplied at constant pressure is given by Q1 to 2 is equal to mCp T2 minus T1. So here where m is the mass of gas, T1 is the initial temperature of gas, T2 is the final temperature of gas, Cp is specific heat at constant pressure. A part of this heat is utilized for doing, so whatever this heat Q1 to 2 is supplied, in that part we are used for external work, that is a W1 to 2 P V2 minus V1, and rest is used for increasing the internal energy, that is du is equal to mCv T2 minus T1. So here that work done W1 to 2 P V2 minus V1, we can write mR T2 minus T1 with the relations of mRT. So PV is equal to mRT. So with that gas equation we can write this. So and du is equal to mCv T2 minus T1. Here where V1 is the initial volume of gas, V2 is the final volume of gas, Cv is the specific heat at constant volume, P is the constant pressure. So then Q1 to 2 is equal to du plus W1 to 2. So if I add that heat supplied is equal to internal energy plus work transfer. So Q1 to 2 we know that mCp T2 minus T1, and du we know that mCv T2 minus T1 plus W1 to 2 is equal to mR T1 minus T2 minus T1. So Cp is equal to Cv plus R. So if you rearrange the terms, T2 minus T1 will get cancelled and m will get cancelled. Cp is equal to Cv plus R. So R is equal to Cp minus Cv. So this is that is a relation between R, Cp and Cv. So for this you have taken a gas in a closed container with a constant pressure from state 1 to state 2, and heat is supplying at constant pressure which is given by Q1 to 2 mCp T2 minus T1, where m is the mass of gas, T1 is the initial temperature of gas, T2 is the final temperature of gas, Cp is equal to specific heat at constant. So whatever we are supplying heat, in that part of it is used for doing external work and rest is used for increasing the internal energy. So that part of external work is W1 to 2 P is equal to V2 minus V1, that is mR is equal to T2 minus T1, and increasing internal energy is du plus mCv T2 minus T1. So heat supplied is equal to du plus W1 to 2. So if you substitute all that values, equation values, so m get cancelled which is common, and T2 minus T1 get cancelled which is common. So which remains Cp is equal to Cv plus Cr. So R you keep constant and you take Cv this side, Cp minus C1. So this is the relation between R, Cp and Cv. Next we have to derive the characteristic gas equation. This is also one important 5 marks question. So we know that the general gas equation is given by PV is equal to CT. So in case of characteristic gas equation, the above equation may be written as PVS is equal to RT, where Vs is equal to specific volume of gas and R is equal to characteristic gas constant. For any m kg of gas, the above equation we can write as m PVS is equal to mRT. So both sides we will multiply m. So PV is equal to mRT. That Vs into m is given, that is a volume. Specific volume into mass gives the total volume. Then characteristic gas equation may be given by PV is equal to mRT, where P is equal to pressure of gas in Newton per meter square, V is equal to volume of gas in meter cube, M is equal to mass of gas in kg, R is equal to characteristic gas constant in joule per kg. So this is what the characteristic gas equation. Next we'll study heat and work. So whether this heat and work, define the heat and work, and are these quantities are path function and point functions, we have to explain here. So define heat and work, and are these quantities are path function or point functions. So here we will discuss what is heat. Heat is nothing but it is the energy transformed without the transfer of mass. So here mass is not transforming, but energy is transformed across the boundary of the system because of the temperature difference between the system and its surroundings. So heat means the total energy is transforming without only the energy is transforming. Now mass is not transforming, the energy is transforming across the system boundary of the system due to the difference between the temperature of that system and the surroundings. So it is represented in joule or kilojoule. It is denoted by Q. So work, it is the product of force F and the distance moved x in the direction of force. It is expressed in Newton meter, that is W is equal to F into x. So thermodynamic work is the energy transformed without transforming the mass across the boundary of the system. Now the heat and work both are the path function. That means it depends on the path followed during the process, not on the points. So that's why it is called as a path function, not a point function. So in this system, the system changing its initial its states from 1 to final state 2 through the paths 1a2 and 1b2, so which are the quasi-static process, and the quantity of heat transfer will depend on the intermediate states through which the system, intermediate paths or the states to which the system passes. So as the heat is path function, so we can write 1 to 2 delta Q is equal to Q1 to 2. So that is Q1 to 2 is not equal to Q2 minus Q1. So it depends on the path followed. Similarly, the work is also path function, that is delta W1 to 2 is equal to W1 minus 2. So W2 minus W. So next, similarities between heat and work. Heat and work are the path functions. So it depends on the path followed during the process, not on the points. Heat and work are the transient phenomena. Heat and work can be transformed from one form to another form. Heat and work represent the energy, so crossing the boundary of the system. So these both heat and work are representing energy which is crossing across the boundary of the system. So here mass is not transforming in case of heat and work. Heat and work are the boundary phenomena. So heat and work are transformed across the boundary. Next, neither heat nor work are property of a system. Heat and work are in exact differential, so it cannot be differentiated. So next we will discuss the problems in our part 2 video. So here some of the important problems, so which is asked in April-May 2017, 6 marks, and next April-May 2017 4 marks, and next April-May 2017 problem number 6, 7. So these are the important problems which have been asked in the previous years. So you can go through these problems, so which are solved in your notes, and the explanation for these problems and the data and the clarification solving methods will be described in the next upcoming the part 3 video on the first unit, that is the basic concepts and laws of thermodynamics. So this is around 14 problems, important problems which have been repeated or asked in the previous diploma examination have been given here. So we will discuss it one by one in the next upcoming problems. Okay, thank you. So the theoretical revision of this first unit, what we have studied is, we studied the different concepts like system, boundary, surroundings, quasi-static process, and quasi-static process, entropy, enthalpy, enthalpy, and some other. So the first unit what you have studied, it is revised here. So important boundary, surroundings you have studied, cycle or thermodynamic cycle, enthalpy you have studied, entropy you have studied, internal energy you have studied, specific heat you have studied, specific heat at constant value, specific heat at constant pressure. So this all quasi-static process, and the types of thermodynamic systems, that is a closed system and open flow system and isolated system, and difference between closed and open system. Next, properties of system, so extensive properties, intensive properties. So this all you have studied in the first part of the video, and in the second part we have studied the basic laws of the concept, zeroth law, first law, second law, and this you have studied. And we have studied the relation with the steady flow energy equation, and with the steady flow process means what, that we have studied. Next, we studied the relation between Cp minus Cv is equal to R, Cp Cv R, that is the specific heat at constant pressure and specific heat at constant value and universal gas constant. So this the relations we have studied. Next, we have studied the derivation of characteristic gas equation, and after that we have studied the heat and work and whether these are the path functions, and we have studied the similarities between heat and work. So this is the theoretical aspects and some of the importance. So already we have studied in our regular classes, but some points are revised here. Okay, thank you.